Welcome to the dashboard actually. Now, most of the class we are going to look at the dashboard, and it is going to be more fun, right? Obviously, you understand why. Uh, because already, there were few classes that I, tried to take this for everyone, but now uh, it is going to be for us only. Right, you guys can just unmute yourself and ask questions, whatever if you want, whatever questions you have. So everything, this is going to be fun, to be very honest. Okay, so we'll start in just 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute, and you know, and then we will start. Today, it is like 10 minutes late we are starting in, but from the next class onwards, we will start at 6:05 Indian Standard Time directly, and you guys should join the session at 6. Right. Before that, how are you guys feeling? You guys can unmute yourself if you have any questions to ask. Right. Right. Someone is saying pin yourself. Okay, I will just pin myself. Where am I? Right. I will pin myself so that I can be a full screen. I don't have any problem, so I will just pin myself. So I have pinned myself. Am I looking good? Am I on the screen now? Right. Tushar says, why stopping on YouTube? You guys want me to continue on YouTube, or is it that? You guys want me to continue on YouTube? Okay. Someone is saying no. Who is that? Janab. Janab is saying no. Why Janab? Okay. No worries. Oh, okay. I can understand that. I can understand that. So, uh, yeah, don't worry about that. Uh, I just wanted to let other people learn few things. And anyway, you know, 499 or many people have enrolled in 299. It is a very low fee. It doesn't matter too much. But yeah. Okay, guys. So let's start. Enough of time. Uh, so we should start. Piyush says we can't interact with you in YouTube, but now you guys can interact with me. So that's not a problem. So let's start. So we will start, and again, this is going to be a lot of fun. So what I can do with the thing that, mhm, uh, hopefully my voice is okay. Just a second, guys. Okay, hopefully my voice is good. Uh, just a second, guys. I'm just. Now I should be visible. I will pin myself. Oh, very good. Now we are ready to start with. We are ready to start with. So let's start, guys. Let's start, and we'll look at the things and we'll discuss everything in detail. So first of all, we will start with simple thing that whatever we have studied till now, we will start with that discussion, and then we will slowly move ahead. Right. So far, what we have studied, guys, till now. What we have studied, can anyone answer this quickly? Till now? Till now. Is my screen visible, everyone? Or is it not visible? Okay. It is not visible, then I will just share my screen. So, I am sharing my screen. It is not visible, right? Everyone? Mhm. Okay. Uh, my screen is visible, everyone? Yes, very good. Okay, I will start recording, guys. Very good point. I had just missed it recording. Thanks, Sajil. And someone has to remind me, okay? Each time, please remind me that, I have to start the recording. Otherwise, whoever is not attending the recorded lecture, then that will be a problem. Meanwhile, guys, since we are here and this is a very close group, so you guys can share anything, you guys can stop me, right? You can ask any questions, right? So yeah, till now or recap, right? Right. So let's start, guys, with this first. So what we have seen, guys, in the last few classes, we started with introduction to Python. Very good. So we started with introduction to Python, right? Some basics of Python, basics of Python. Then we saw operators. Then we moved slowly towards different type of operators. Then we went to data structure, right? And data structure. And each day I used to think that today I will get into function, and due to the depth thing, right? I usually, actually what happens, and I take a target that okay, I will be completing function today. But each time I teach, I think that okay, this should be also taught, this should also be taught, and due to these reasons I was not able to reach till function. So in this lecture we are going to study about function. Yeah, data type was also one thing. Very good, Piyush. Yeah, conditional and loops, right? Conditional and loops, those things also we have discussed. If I talk about the last few lecture, right? If I talk about the last few lecture, right? Right, right. What are some important interview questions? I will discuss about that first. Interview questions. Interview questions. So, guys, I have one plan for interview questions as well, right? One of the learner, I don't remember the name exactly, he pinged me. I remember that he was a male. He pinged me and said, "Sir, you are giving interview questions. That is completely fine, right? But how can we, you know, have all of the question at one place, right?" His question was that, right? So I am planning to have one cumulative PDF that I will be providing, but that cumulative PDF will not come, will not have only the important question. It will contain everything for the interview, right? But if you guys want the most important one, then these lectures, interview questions, that whatever I am mentioning, that is the most important one. That is the most important one. In the PDF that I am going to provide, that will be exhaustive list that you cannot revise in an hour, right? But these questions which I am talking in the class, these are the most important. Are you guys understanding what I mean to say? Yes or no? I was not clear, I feel. Right, 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 right. Did you guys understood what I mean to say here? Very simple thing, I will repeat it again. Simple question, simple thing, that the PDF, whatever I will be making, it will be an exhaustive list. It will contain everything. Now, problem with those type of PDF is that you cannot revise in one go in an hour, right? And these interview questions that I am giving you in the lecture itself, these are lower in number, and these are ultra important, very, very important interview question. So if you ask me, this should be the priority level 1, and then the rest of the thing, or rest of the PDF that I will be sending you guys. Is it fine, everyone? Understood my point? Anyone who thinks that no, I didn't understood? Very good. Now, what are the interview questions that we have seen from the topic, whatever we have seen till now? So first I will start from that, and then slowly I will move ahead, right? So till now what we have covered? We have covered string, list, tuples, set, and dictionary. These are the important things. Out of these important things, if you ask me few interview questions, then I will ask, right, few important questions, something like this. What is deep copy and shallow copy? This deep copy and shallow copy can be asked both in string, it can be asked both in list, right? It can be asked, right, from, tuples, set, dictionary, because this copy, deep copy and shallow copy, is a common function that is used with every data structure, right? How many of you remember what is deep copy, shallow copy? Everyone remembers that? What is deep copy and shallow copy, right? What does deep copy and shallow copy does? Anyone? Can you answer that quickly? Anyone? Can anyone answer that quickly? What is deep copy and shallow copy? Anyone? Right? Very good, Piyush. Shallow copy means change one variable to another variable is called as shallow copy. Right? Deep copy, if you change one variable, the other variable will not be changed. That will be your, deep copy. Right? Just give me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Mhm. Right? So that will be your deep copy and shallow copy. Right? Right. So this would be the first question that can be asked in the interview. Clear, everyone? Right. Now, next question, very important. Right. Few functions related to each of the data structure. One example. For example, list. Very important, very important question. What is the use of append? What is the use of append? They will ask you some practical implementation based question. Whatever I taught you, right? Some implementation based question. How can we use append? That type of question can be asked from the list, right? Now, again, what is the use of pop? Pop, right? Obviously, pop is, a common method across all the data structure. But you understand, pop actually removes the last element. But there is a exception. Anyone remembers what happens if you use pop in case of a set? Anyone? Anyone has any idea? What happens when you use pop in case of set? Very good. It removes any random element. Right, right, right. So this is something you should remember. It's just a common sense. I don't say that Ratta, do memorize it. Removes pop does this, pop does this, pop does this. No, please don't do that. Okay. Now moving ahead about tuple, set, dictionary, right? Tuples. So they can ask which is the data structure, right, right, right. Which is the data structure? Which is immutable. So it can be asked something like that. Right, right. From this, right. What are the unique things about set? Right. What are the unique things about dictionary? Right. Already I had given you few interview questions at the end of the last lecture. Do you guys remember that? Already I have given you few of the interview questions at the end of the last lecture. So those questions and these questions are enough from the topics that we have studied in the last lecture. Now, what is the agenda of today's class? So today's class, our target is very big. We want to complete function, iterators, and generators. In function, we are also going to complete map, reduce, filter, many concepts. Right? I don't know how much I will be able to complete it, but let's try to, see how we move ahead and how much we are able to complete it. Right. So first of all, let me go ahead and then I will just start with. So I will go to this and now I will be having one notebook, right? So I will be going to notebook here, Python 3. So here I'm going to have the notebook. So let's start, guys. So here we are going to have, right? We are going to have, right, functions. So we will start with functions, right? Very important concept and very important with respect to implementation point of view, right? Very important with respect to implementation point of view. And right, believe me, 90% of the YouTube videos that you will find about the functions, they are not able to explain one simple thing. Why do we use function? And it is not the case with only function. Oops, when we will be studying oops tomorrow or the next week, right? The same problem. Everyone understands, okay, oops is a concept, right? But how to use, why to use, what is the necessity of oops? People doesn't understand this, right? So in my experience, while teaching function and oops, I have seen students not knowing the use case. So my primary target would be to make sure that you guys understand where function is used. That is very important for me, right? So now guys, let's start. So we'll start with, right, seeing the necessity of functions first and then slowly move ahead, right? So first of all, I will give you a very simple example, right? Right. So guys, if you remember, right, 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 when you used to, right, do something like this, let's say A is equals to 5, right, right, and you do type of A, right? If you do type of A, what do you see here? This is integer. And the moment you do print type of A, right, right, see what happens? You see class integer, right, right. So let's forget this class integer as of now. It doesn't matter to us because this is a term related to oops concept that we are going to look into it in the upcoming lectures. But before just removing print, you get to know that, let's say, I will just write here, maybe print A. Now just you are printing A. What will happen in this case? You saw that it is 5. Very good, not a problem. You understood that print A will give you 5. But actually, what is this print statement? Have you ever thought about this? Already I have discussed in the few lectures, uh, before this. But anyone, what is the meaning of this particular print statement? What is this print? Anyone has any idea? Anyone has any idea? Quickly, guys. What is this print? Right, right, right. Python keyword. Very good. Anyone else? What is this print? Right, right. Very good. Many of you are answering it correctly. Right. Sends data to display. Print is a function. Very good, Rajkumar. Rajkumar, right, has actually answered it correctly. Very good. I will give you one more example. Let's say A is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you, the moment you do length of A, what do you see, guys? Length of A is 5. So what are these? Length, print. Let's say A dot count. I want to count the occurrence of 1. It is only 1. Let's say maybe if you can just put one more, this occurrence of A, occurrence of 1 will be 2 times. What is this count? Right? Right. This you have to understand. What is this? Print first, even in fact type of A, right? Type of A. The moment you wrote type of A, so here I will just execute this. So type of A, right? What is this? This is integer, right? What is this type? What is this print? What is this length? What is this count? Have you ever thought about this? Right? What is this? Right? This is called as inbuilt function. This is called as inbuilt function. But what is this function? Right? What is this function? If I ask you a simple question, right? What is function of your eye? What would be your answer? What is the function of your eye? What would be your answer? I have asked a simple question. right? Just answer me, right? Right. Let's say if I ask, okay, I will use this one because this, right? If I ask you a very simple thing, what is the function of I? Function of I, right? So many of the people you are guys are saying to see, right? Right. To see. Very good. It allows you to see. Nice. Not a problem. So now, considering this example, if I ask you a very simple question, function of I is to see, then how would you define function? I'm just talking about generic life. How would you define function? Can anyone define function for me? Right, right, right. Can anyone define function for me now? You understand that the function of I is to see. Very good. Not a problem. But now the question is, can anyone define, right? Can anyone define, right? Right, right. What is the meaning of function? Just search, go ahead and see the dictionary maybe. Right? Just try it out. Right, 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 right. Function is a tool to do particular task repeatedly. No, I'm asking in general terms. Right. A function is generally refers to a task, role, purpose, or something this is designed to perform. Very good, Samir. Right, right. So can I say, right, right. Simple meaning of function is to, right, is to, or a function means referring to do something, or it means very simple, right, right, to do something as per some process. That's it, nothing else, right, right, right. So in general, it simply means to do a task, to do a role, right? Function of eye, to see in our body. Function of mouth, to speak, right? So what is mouth doing? Doing some task, very simple. So generally, I can just define, right? To do refers doing a task. Very easy, doing a task. Now try to understand in terms of Python. We have understood this, right? In general, when you do something, that is function. Very good, not a problem. Now, what do you do in Python? What do you do in Python? In Python, you write some code, right? In Python, you do some computation, right? This is what you do in Python, right? Now think in terms of function, in terms of Python programming language. What is Python? Right. Again, the same definition you can use, right? In terms of code, very easy. So what is a function? Function refers to a block of code, right? Refers to a block of code which performs a specific task. That's it. A specific task. Here also, general life, function refers to doing a task. Here also refers to a block of code doing some task. Easy to understand. But this is not the point. Point is, a block of code was anything. Right, right, right. Why actually you need a function? Why? Right. A block of code can be anything. Obviously, we already have seen this. So let's say this is a block of code. I can write anything. Let's say a equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is completely fine. Right. But then why function? What is the necessity of a function? Right. To understand this, let's try to see with an example. Let's say here a is equals to 1 2 3 4 5. Very good. Right, right, right. So first of all, inbuilt function, let's say print, length, count, right? There are a lot of functions. But let's say here a is equals to 1 2 1 1 2 3 4 5. Try to understand. Now, if you want to count the occurrence of 1, what you can do? Right. First of all, count is equals to some value. Let's say count is equals to 0. Right. Then for I in A, right? Let's say for I in A, first print I. See the value of I. Okay, fine. This is 1 1 2 3 4. Right. Now what you will do? If I is equals to right 1, then what you will do? You will increase the count value. Count is equals to count plus 1, and then last what you will do? Print count. I'm just giving you an example, right? So now you have done count equals to 2. Try to understand why. Why function? Why function? This is very important. Why function? So when you did print equals to print count, then you got the value 2. Very good, not a problem. But don't you think this can be done in a very, very easy way directly using something like this a dot count and whatever value you want to use. So a dot count 2. Now there is two benefit. First, each time you want to count the number of occurrence of each unique value, you don't need to write this block of code. Here it was for only 1. For 2, you have to write another code. For 3, you have to write another code. But Python has provided you some function which can actually be used again and again. You can simply write now a dot count and here just write 2. I want to count the value of 2. You don't need to rewrite the block of code again. You are just using this count, right? This is the benefit, right? So why function? The question is why function? So can I write very, very easy, right? Reusability of code. Reusability of code. You can use count as many number of times you want. Reusability of code, right? Now, did you guys understood this? Yes or no? Right? Right? Right. Is it clear, everyone? Everyone, yes or no? Is it clear so far? Did you guys understood? Right. Right. Very good. Very good. One point is very much clear that reusability of code is very important. And first, second, don't you think by writing this count, you have written a more optimized code? Don't you think, guys? Because this count will be used many times, right? Right. Whoever has written this count function has made sure that this is very much optimized. Writing here, we didn't thought much, right? About the optimization. Optimization means you write a better code, right? In terms of execution time, execution space. So can I write one thing or more? That functions gives you, right? Or let's say here inbuilt function, right? Allows you to have an optimized code. This can be the second thing, right? Right, right. This can be second thing. third thing, very important. This is very, very important. There is a term called abstraction. 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 Right, right, right. What is the meaning of abstraction? This is very interesting. What is the meaning of abstraction? Right. Guys, have you ever seen Monjolika in your life? Monjolika in your life? How many of you have seen Monjolika? Okay, no one? Monjolika is my love. Okay, right, 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 right. So what is this Monjolika? Right, Monjolika is a ghost. Right, right. So what happens, guys? What happens? Right, you guys understand that something is there. Right, right. Something is there. Right. Something is there. But you are not able to see it. This is ghost. Right. This is ghost. Right. Right. Similar to that, in abstraction, what does this abstraction means? Code is there. Right. This long piece of code might be there in this count function, but you are not able to see it. Right. You are not able to see that. Right. So what is the meaning of this? Hiding the details. Very easy. Function allows you to hide the details. You don't need to know what is happening inside that. Right. You just need to use that function or use the interface. Just use the interface. That's it. Interface or function name. Interface / function name. That's it. So I can say that count is an interface that has been provided to you. Print is an interface that has been provided to you. Just use it, do your work, live life. That's it. Right, right, right. This is the third point. There's one more point, very interesting point. That is called as decomposition. Decomposition. What is this decomposition? Right, right. So let's try to understand this. Very important. Let's say while doing something, right, right. So for example, if you are making a software, so let's say this is your software, right, right. There can be different ways, right? There can be different components of a software application. It can be back end, it can be front end. Try to understand this. Very useful. Now, at some time in the back end code, you have to count something. Count. What count? A is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this. You have to count this. Some list. Again, in the front end, this count for list. Again, in the front end, again you have to count something on string. See, data structure is different. But you want to, let's say, count an element in the list, count a character in a string. Now, will you write a different function at both the places? Is it that you are going to do it? Right. Right. No. To be honest, no. Right. Right. No. And for that, you will write a very simple function that will help you to do both the things, right, at different places using just one function. Right. So decomposition means a very simple thing, right, doing multiple things together. So let's say doing multiple things together, right, multiple things together together to do the same task. Let's say to do the same task, right? And this is also called as, or usually, right, we also call it as modularity, right? Modularity. So you can actually work with different modules of your software program, right? Modularity or avoiding redundancy. Very good, Samir. You can just say that as well. Avoiding redundancy. Avoiding redundancy. Very good. Right. You can just use that as well. Right. So these are the four things that actually makes a function important. Actually makes the function important. Now the next question is, what is the syntax of a function? What is the syntax of a function? So let's start with the syntax of function, right? Syntax of a function. How to define a function? But before that, before moving ahead, anyone has any questions? Please go ahead and ask, guys. So far, so good, everyone, right? Anyone has any questions to ask? Right. Anyone has any questions? Please go ahead quickly. Answer it quickly, guys, everyone. Dipti says, please repeat decomposition. Very simple. So let's say count is a function, right? You want to use count at one place, right? So let's say count is a function, or let's say you have two components of a program. So let's say this is a program you have made. This is a program you have made. It can have multiple components. Whenever you develop a software, it can have multiple components. I'm just giving you an example. It can be having multiple components. Let's say you want to count here as well. 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 Here, let's say you want to count list. Here you want to count again list. Here you want to count string. Does it mean that each time you will write a different piece of code? Here also you will write a different piece of code. Here also you will write a different piece of code. Here also you will write a different piece of code. Here also you will write a different piece of code. Here also you will write a different piece of code. Do you think this will be optimized way? This will be a good way? Right? The answer to your question is no. This will not be a good way. That's not a good way actually to write the code. So what you will do? You will have a common function that is count that can be called in any of the script, right? These scripts will be called as modules. I will come to that at a later stage after oops. But let's say in each of these modules, you can call a common function that is count. So that's how function becomes most important to write a neat and clean code. And decomposition simply means doing multiple things together to do the same task, which increases actually the modularity of the code. Right? Right. Is it clear? Is it clear? Anyone has any questions so far? Should I move ahead now, everyone? Very good. You have understood, everyone, guys. I want to have response from everyone. Very good. So now you have understood what is the necessity of a function. Very good. Not a problem. Now functions are of two types. So let's discuss that as well, because since we are discussing it. So functions are of two types. So if I could define here, so functions are of two types. So let's say functions are of two types. I will just write it here. Maybe that would be a good way. So functions are of two types. Let's say this is your function. Functions. It is of two types. First, user defined, right? And second, inbuilt. If you guys remember, we have talked about a lot of inbuilt function earlier. So we have already seen some of the inbuilt function, right? In this lecture, we are going to see, right. In this lecture, we are going to see how to make your own user defined function, because inbuilt function anyway you can do that. That's not a problem, right? Right. The things comes when you want to actually, right, 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 make your own function. That is most important thing. And that is why we are here to learn how to make a user defined function. So that is our target to understand, and that's why we want to learn the syntax of the function, right? That's the understanding. So let's start with the syntax of the function, how to define a function, and slowly we are going to dive deep into everything, right? Right. So we'll dive deep into everything. So let's start. So what is the syntax of a function? To understand the syntax of a function, we have to understand how it is defined. So to define, let's go to the notebook. So here I will just write syntax here. All right. Before that also, let's say syntax of function is there. Syntax. So inbuilt, 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 and user defined, and user defined, user defined. Now, what is there in inbuilt function? You already have seen some of them. Now user defined. What is user defined function? Syntax of user defined function, right? So I'll just show you. So first thing, syntax, you will start with, there are three things actually. In function to understand, there are three things, right? First, you have, right, def keyword. So you have def keyword, right? Then, right? There is function name. Whatever function name you want to keep it. So this is your second thing, function name. Then third thing, you want to put some value here. We'll come to that. But the first thing is def keyword. Second thing is the function name. And third thing is very important, that is return. That's it. This is actually your function. So what is a function? Function is a block of code that performs some specific computation. Right. Right. Why do we need function? For reusability of the code, abstraction, decomposition, and it keeps your code neat and clean, organized, right? Right. Neat, code is neat, clean, right? Whatever you want to put it, right? Organized. So that's understanding. Now, how to define a function? Just use three things. First, def keyword. Keyword means already we have discussed this. Then we have function name. Then we have a return statement. So let's try to make a small function. Let's try to make a small function now. Right. Right. So before making a small function, let's say I will do one more thing. So let's say I want to write print, right? I will just write welcome to class, Ajit. Let's say I wrote this, welcome to class, Ajit. Right. Now, fine, welcome to class, Ajit. Now, if let's say there is another student, what I will do? Welcome to class, maybe Tushar, right? Tushar. Very good. Then again, if let's say there is another student, right? So I write welcome to class, Dipti. I will do this, right? Right. See, welcome to class Ajit, welcome to class Tushar, welcome to class Dipti. But the problem is, each time a new student comes, you have to rewrite the code again and again with the name. But now I am going to write a function that you can reuse and you don't need to write everything. So that you guys can understand what could be the possible difference. So let's see. Very easy. So I will write, there are three things in the function. First, make the function name. That is, define a function with a keyword called def. Then you will write greet. It is the function name, and then name. And then what I'm going to do, let's say here, I will just write print welcome to the class. Just write this, welcome to the class. Here you have seen only two things, right? What are the two things? Def keyword, function name. That's it. So first of all, let's do this. So this is your def greet and this is something. Welcome to the class. Fine. This you have done. But now you want to print each time someone comes. Then in this case, you have to not write this long code, just call this function. So this way, whenever you write this, something like this is called as calling of a function. So now just execute this. Welcome to the class. Again, if someone else comes, wow, very good. Welcome to the class. Again, say, welcome to the class. Easy? Easy? Yes or no? Everyone. So far, so good? Not a problem? But here, you will be angry on me. Ajay, sir, earlier it was Ajit, it was Tushar, it was Dipti. Now you have just writing welcome to the class. Where is Ajit? Where is Tushar? Where is Dipti? I'm not getting that. Can you modify this function in such a way that I also get the name? I will say, yes, we can do. How? Here comes a concept of, here comes the concept of anyone. What is the concept that I will be talking about? Quickly, right? What is that thing is called as? Right. Here comes the concept of, right? Whatever I write here, what is the name of this? Anyone? What do you call it as? Right. What do you call it as? Someone is saying positional, someone is calling as argument, right? Everyone is wrong. Very important. This is called as parameter. Parameter. When you define a function, it will be called as parameter. When you call the function, it will be called as argument. Very important. Basics, but very, very important. So whenever you define a function, at this place, this name is called as parameter. But whenever you call this function, I will show you, then that will be called as argument. Right? Very good. Now this is the thing. Now moving ahead, let's say greet is there. Now, again if you call it as, right, see, it will say missing one required positional argument name. What is the meaning of this? Right? Try to understand this. Here it is explicitly said argument. Right? So when you define, this is parameter. But now when you are calling, let's say I will just now pass this Tushar, right? Then this is nothing but argument. So value of parameter when passed while calling function is called as argument. This is the understanding. Now welcome to the class. I want to execute and just put the name. So let's say now greet Tushar. What you will see? Welcome to the class Tushar. Now maybe let's say again Control C, Control V. Now this time greet with the name Praveen. Let's say Praveen. Right. So see here, welcome to the class Praveen. Did you guys understood this quickly? Everyone? Understood? Everyone? What is the difference between parameter, argument, right? Right? Everyone, very good, very good. Now, now, next thing, next thing. Here we have done this. Now, guys, if I say you, welcome to the class. Let's say this is a string. Try to understand this. Welcome to the class. Let's say this is a string. And if I do plus, welcome to the class, and then I do plus in Python. In Python. Welcome to the class of Python. Let's say welcome to the class of Python. If I execute this, what do you see, guys, here? What do you see, guys, here? Quickly. What do you see, guys, here? When I am writing welcome to the class, what do you think? What do you see here? Quickly. Right? Here, the strings are concatenated. Very good. Not a problem. Right? But the moment, let's say you will write greet Tushar. Let's say greet Tushar. Here greet Tushar. Very good. Welcome to the class Tushar. Now, here I will just write of Python. Of Python. Guys, what do you think? Here it is a string, right? And when you are writing of Python, you should concatenate this. Right? What do you think, guys? What will happen here? Right. Try to do this. If you execute this, you will get welcome to the class Tushar. But when it comes to of Python, you got an error. What is this error? What is this error? Right. This error, if you see, says that unsupported operand type for non-type and str. It simply means when you are calling this function, it is actually not returning anything. It is just printing something. Welcome to the class Tushar. It is not returning. What is the meaning of returning? I will come to that. So let's say here you just do type of this. Right? If you just do type, here you will realize it is a none type. What is this? It is a none type. Now, what is the meaning of this none type? I will explain everything. So let's say here we had def great name, right? Def great name, and let's say here we wrote here something like this. Welcome to the class and the name, right? So here let's say great, and you just pass a name, right? You can pass any name. So let's say this time you passed a name, let's say Adeline. So you pass the name Adeline. So here you will put a name Adeline. Let's say Adeline, right? So welcome to the class Adeline. Not a problem. Very good. But if you see it carefully, what is actually happening? This is actually printing this. This is just displaying the information. Right. Try to understand this. Very easy. You are watching a television. On a screen. Right. On the screen, you see something written like this. Welcome to the class Adeline. Very good. That's not a problem. Right. Because you are sitting on your seat and seeing this. Welcome to the class Adeline. But now, you want to add something. What do you want to add? Python. Let's say Python you want to add. But will you guys able to do in the real world scenario? You are watching some TV and someone says you, right, add some text. You're watching some television and someone says add some text. right? Will you be able to do that? Right? No, you will not be able to do this, right? Right? If you have to add something, let's say if you have to add something, what you have to do it, right? First, welcome to class, Adeline. You will take this text in your own world or in your own environment. First, you get this text, right? You get this text out of out of this television. Out of this television, you got this text first. Fine, you have got this text now. Once you got this text, then maybe you will try to actually add Python keyword. Right, right. Then you will try to add the Python keyword. And same thing is happening here. You are just displaying the information. You are not giving something as output. Once you get the output, this is your output out of a television, then only you can add it. And to get the output, we have to use return statement. You have to use return statement. So now I will just write every discussion here, right? Right. So here of Python, let's say of Python, let's say I will just make sure that notes are prepared, right? Here, okay, I'll just write here. You will get error. You will get error as the function great is not giving any output. Any output. It is just printing a statement. Very simple. Right. Analogy. How to understand this? How to remember? Watching a television. Watching a television. Right. Television. Let's say television. There is a text. Television. There is a text. There is a text. You cannot edit the text directly until you have, say, output out of television. That's it, right? Now just execute this. It will throw an error. Now modify this function with something called as return statement. So here I will just now say print, right? So now in this print, what I can do, right? So get name and maybe let's say here return. So let's say return. So I'll just write return. Right? So return welcome to the class. So let's say welcome to the class, and then what I can do, just write class and maybe let's say name. Right? So this f string already you have seen this, right? Welcome to the class, something like this. Okay, return this is welcome to the class. Maybe what I can do, I have not closed this. Now this is the thing. So now what I will do, now I will call this grade with a name. So let's say I have called this time Adeline, and then use plus Python. Now I will just write of Python, and this time what will happen, welcome to the class Adeline of Python. Maybe I'll just remove this comma to make it more beautiful. So welcome to the class Adeline of Python. Obviously it is not grammatically correct, but this is the understanding. So if I have to summarize now, what is the function? Already you know that, but to understand the function, so you have four important things, four important part of function, four important part of functions. What are the four important part of functions? First, def keyword, right? Second, a function name, Third, right, after a function name, argument, and fourth, that is return statement. Is it clear everyone so far? Anyone has any doubts till here? Quickly. So far so good guys, everyone, right? Anyone has any questions? Everyone quickly. Anyone has any questions so far? Should I move ahead? Right? Right? Very good. Now you must be thinking, right, 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 right. Now, very good. Not a problem. You have understood what is the function, what is the use case. Now, this might be a curiosity, right? Is it that it will return only one thing? No, it can return anything. Anything. So, for example, def func, right? Def func, I am just defining an any random function, return. I want to return anything. So, let's say here, this is CareerCraft CC class. CC class, right? CC class, right? Then we have some value 2, 4, 2 plus 5j, any complex number, true, something like that, anything. Just execute this. Now see the func, it will give you all the values. This is CC class 2, 4, 2 plus 5j and true. Now guys, answer me a very simple question. This is the return of this particular function. Very good, not a problem. But now, how to store this value? Anyone has any idea? How to store this? Right. How to store this? Right. How to store this? Right. So you can simply store in any variable something like this. Now if you see A, this is CC class 2, 4, 2 plus 5j, true. Right. Now you want to store this in different variables. This is the first way. But let's say if you want to store in different number of variables, so A, B, C, D, E, you can do that as well. A, comma, B, comma, C, comma, D, comma, E. You can just put this. Done. Now if you see A is this is a CareerCraft class, B 2, C 4, D this, E this, something like that. Right. Right. Now, another way, this is second way. So first way to store the return value of a function, You can do this way and then access individual element 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Second way, right? This store all the values in different functions. Second way. I had also taught you one thing. Do you remember unpacking of tuples? Do you guys remember that? Now there will be the third way. Right? Right. How can you do the next one? So let's say func. What you can do? I don't know how many of you remember, but using unpacking of tuples. Unpacking of tuples. So now here let's say func. Now what you can do? A comma B and then let's say rest of the value in the C. Just do it. Now see A, this is a CareerCraft class, B is 2 and C, everything rest will be in the value C. Is it clear everyone? Right? Yes or no? Everyone. Is this clear? Right? Right? Is this clear? Right? 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 Very good. Very good. Very good. Guys, should we take a 5 minutes of break? Everyone? Should we take a 5 minutes of break? Quickly, if you are okay. Right? Right? Very good. So let's take a 5 minutes of a break and then we will again restart, right? So yeah. So let's start, guys. Everyone back. Yes or no, guys, quickly. Should we start, everyone? Okay. So let's start, guys. Let's start. Hmm. Piyush is saying 10 minutes, please, 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 10 minutes. Piyush, if you want, I can give you 30 minutes as well. Right? That's not a problem. But the thing is that we want to complete everything in detail. Right? Everything in detail. If I start giving you 10 minutes, so generally what happens? I will be giving you 3 breaks, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. It will be 15 minutes. Right? At other places, in 3-hour lectures, I just give one break. That is of 10 minutes. Right? Right? So which is good? Which is better? Right? 3 5 minutes break or 1 10 minutes break? Right? So I think, I strongly believe 3 5 minutes breaks are more important. But if you guys say me that give me 10 minutes break each time, I can give you that as well. Right? Right? Not a problem. Naglata says, sir, can't hear you. Is it, am I not audible, guys? Everyone? Quickly, am I audible or not? Audible. I am audible. Very good. Very good. So Naglata, please check your audio, okay? Audio port, something like that. So let's start, guys. So we have at least, covered the basics of function. Very good. Very good. Not a problem. Now, there was a function called greet. Here, you called with a name. Let's say Pius. Pius was a name, right? Pius is a name that, you know, uh, you saw, right? Right. Very good. Not a problem. Right. 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 Now, if you guys, uh, see here, then we have Pius as an argument, right? Right. So whenever it defined, it is name is the parameter, but Pius value is actually the argument. Very good. Now I'm going to do an experiment for fun. So let's do this fun. So here, this time I will call this something like this. What do you see, guys? What do you see here? Do you see something here? Everyone, quickly. Right, 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 right. So name is not defined. But there is one more thing. Let's say positional argument. Positional argument. Naglata says, I can see you are in mute. Guys, am I not audible, everyone? Am I audible or not? Naglata, I am audible. Everyone is saying, Piyush is saying, Rutvik is saying, Dipti is saying. Maybe you should try to figure it out what is the issue with your audio mic or whatever it is. Right. Right. Okay. Should I move ahead, guys? Now the question is, here if you see, missing one required positional argument. This is the thing. Right. 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 This is something that here is the right, right, right. Now, this is going to be very interesting. This argument is actually of 3 types. Argument is of 3 types. We are going to see everything in detail, right? Everything in detail, right? Right. Argument is of 3 types. First is default argument. Default argument. Second This is positional argument. Actually, you can say four types. Four types. Four types. Positional argument. And this actually it is, to be honest, it is of three types only, but this that is just expanded version. So let's say positional argument, right? Second, variable length argument, and finally we have keyword argument. So this particular two things, now, keyword argument and variable length argument, will come under positional argument itself. Right. Right. Now, what is the meaning of this? What is the understanding? So we are going to understand everything in detail. Right. Right. Everything in detail. Right. Right. So what I can do, I can just say, first of all, let's do one thing. Okay, I will do one thing. So you already know what is a function, right? Right, right, right. Now what I'm going to do, I will give you a task. Write a function, write a small function, write a function to add two numbers. Very easy. Write a function to add two numbers. Everyone, can you guys write it quickly? Write a function to add two numbers. Can you write a function quickly? Let me see how many of you can write. Piyush has just written Dave Funk. What about other people? Right. Very good. Santanu has written, Vaidik has written, almost everyone has written. So let's say here, def. I will write a function called addition. Addition. Very good. Here, what I will take? I will take two arguments, A and B. Why? I want to write a function to add two numbers. So, addition A and B. Now what I can do? Return A plus B. Right? Very good. So this is how you define a function. Now what you can do? What you can do? Oh, it is this. Yeah. So now what you can do? You will call this function addition. So when you call this function, you will pass the value, let's say 2, 5 or 4. What is the value you got? 6. Very good. Right. So here, this is an example of positional argument. So here you can write it positional argument. Very important. Why it is positional argument? Anyone? Right. See, very important to understand. By default, Python understand that the first value given is A and second value given is B. What is this first and second? This is position. First position value is A, second position value is B, and that's your positional argument. I can prove it. I can prove it. How I will prove it? Right? So here I can just write, by default, first argument becomes first position, that is A, and second position becomes B. How can I prove it? So let's say you know that this plus also work with string. Right. So what I can do it? Addition. Just addition. Let's say career. And then I will just put craft. This is concatenation now. See what will happen? If you execute, career comes first and craft comes next. This proves proves the position of argument. Very good, not a problem. Everyone happy so far? Anyone has any doubt? Prove this. But now, let's say someone says that you want craft to be first and career to be last. In that case, what you can do? So let's say here, you want again addition, but this time, what you want? You want B is equals to career and A is equals to craft. Very simple. Just do this. See here, it has become craft and it has become career. Right. But the moment you wrote B is equals to this and A is equals to this has become keyword argument. So this has become a keyword argument. We'll just rearrange it so that you guys are not confused. This has become a keyword argument. Keyword argument. Keyword argument. Is it clear? So far so good? Yes or no, guys, everyone? Right? 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 Now, obviously, you can practice as much as you want. So let's say addition. I will just put this function addition. You can pass any data type here. So addition, you can want to pass a list. You can pass it. So let's say here, B is equals to some value 1, 2, 3. You can pass any data type right here. Pass it. Doesn't matter. 4, 5, 6. Just do this. So now A is equals to this. See what happens. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. You want to pass a string? Already we have seen. Right? Because this plus behaves differently with different data structure. With integer, it sums up. With string, it concatenates. With list, it extends. So here it has extended 4, 5, 6 first and then extended the list with 1, 2, 3. Very simple. Not a problem. Very good. Everyone has understood. Not a problem. Now, you must be thinking, Ajay, is it that we have to only add 2 list or 2 string or 2 number? Can't it be 3? Answer to your question is, who said not? There can be 3 as well. How? Define the function similar to that. So let's say now I am defining this function for 3 numbers. So here I will just paste it. Now I will write a function to add 3 numbers. Very good. Now it has become A, B, C. Now you will add A plus B plus C. Done. Not a problem. Now this time, let's say you will use this addition. Again call this function. So addition and pass the value 1, 2, 3. Done. 1, 2, 3. So this has become 6. 3, 2, 5, 1, 6. Easy. Very easy. Right. Very easy. Yes or no, guys, everyone? So far so good. Right. Now comes one more interesting thing. But let's say sometimes what happens, I am calling addition because I know that there are 2 numbers, 1, 2. If you execute this, it will throw you an error. Missing one required positional argument C. Yeah, guys, see. This is a possibility that you have written a function to add 3 numbers, but sometimes only 2 numbers are coming. In that case, what will happen, guys? In that case, what will happen? It is possible. Right. So let's say you had first written addition of 2 numbers. it is possible that only one value A comes. Right, right, right. So now, here in this case, three arguments are required, but say only two is provided. Now, what to do in this case, guys? Provided. Right. Maybe now there comes a different thing, another concept that is called as default argument. What is the meaning of this default argument? The word itself explains a lot of things. Default argument. Default argument simply means if nothing has been given, what is the default value? If nothing has been passed, what is the default value of the parameter, and how to do so? Right. Then you have to use default argument. Now, how to use this? Now, to use this, you have to actually modify your function. How? It's very easy. Just go to the function and just write ABC, and then here just pass 0. You say that by default, if something is not provided, then please add 0 to the value. So let's say 3 and 5 or 3 and 4. See here, it is 7. By default, the third value is 0 and it is not throwing any error. And you can understand this as well. How? I will just show you. So just do here print A. Just write print A. The A is. Just write like this, A. Now, see here, print A. This is your A. And now, if you just write here B, right? Let's say B here. And finally, let's say you write it here C. So, C. So, here you write C. Now, what will happen in this case? Just execute this. Call this again addition 3, 4. So, you will realize something. The moment you execute this, A is 3, B is 4, the C is 0. The moment you write something, let's say 11, now execute. A is 3, B is 4. Now, since you have provided C, now the C is 11. Is it clear, everyone? Everyone understood this quickly, right? Everyone understood this quickly? Yes or no? Right. Quickly, guys. Everyone. Right. I just want to make sure that if someone executes this block of code, this should be clear to them as the B. Now, guys, should I move ahead, everyone? Should I move ahead? So far, so good. We have understood a lot of things. Now, I will give you one question. Now, take two inputs and add the number. Right. So, write a function to take two inputs and add the number. Please go ahead, guys. Try to do this. Very important, and you have to do. because there is no any option, right? Please try it out, guys, quickly. Take two inputs, right, from the user, add the number quickly. Everyone has to do this, right? Right. Sazil has written something. Very good. Anyone else? Please do it. Everyone has to do it. Ajit has also. Ajit, it is wrong. Please do it correctly. Okay, Piyush has done. Okay, a lot of people has done. Very good. Many of you have done it correctly, right? But to be very honest, I am not satisfied. Whatever you guys have, you know, written, right? I will show you, right? This is a classic mistake that everyone does this. There's no any problem in it. But let's try to understand this, right? Right. Now here, let's say you have to write a function def add two numbers, right? Very good, not a problem. I told you to I told you to actually take the input. So A is equals to input, right? Enter the first number. Enter the first number. Very good. Then we have B is equals to input, right? Enter the second number. Enter the second number. Right. Very good. Not a problem. No issue here. Very good. Right. Right. Now, now let's say what you want to do. You want to add these two numbers and return f string. The addition is you will do a plus b. Not a problem. You will call this add two numbers. Very good. So you will just do add two numbers. And now here what you can do, just write a simple thing. Sorry, add two numbers. Just write the two numbers. First execute this. What will happen if you execute this? See here. Enter the first number. You will give some number 3. Right. Enter the second number. Let's say 5. And you will get the addition is some value. Here it is 35. Okay. Here why it is so. That's the question. Right. And this is the classic mistake that everyone does. Right. The reason being, by default, this takes a string value. Many of you have written it correctly. Then here, what you have to do, just do integer, something like this, integer. Again, you just do integer, right? And then do like this. Now execute, right? 3, 5, you will get the addition is 8. Very good. Very good. Now, there is another question for you guys. Now I am going to say you, write a function which takes a number, which takes a number and says if it's a even or odd. This is the question now. Quickly, guys. Let me see how many of you can do this. Right. Write a function. This time you are writing a function which takes a number. You are not taking this number from user. You are not taking this number from a user. Let's say. Now I have to write this function. How should write, guys? How should we write, guys? Quickly, everyone. Everyone. Say it quick. Write a function which takes a number and says if it's even or odd. If it's even or odd. Very good, Ayush. Very good, Rishikesh. Very good. Many of you guys are answering. I wanted this. Very good. There is even, or let's say even odd. I will just check even odd. I will just copy anyone's code. Check even odd. Which people, which person I should copy, but it's a number. Let's say this is the number. Okay, I will just copy someone's code. Okay, no, I will just write it so that whoever is not writing, they can just understand this from scratch. So check even odd number, right? Right. If number, see what I'm going to do. Percent do is equals to 0. This is the logic. The remainder should be 0. If it is so, you will return the number is even. Number is even. Very good. Else, what it should return, guys? Everyone, return the number is natural. Yes or no? Number is natural. Everyone, yes or no? Is it right? Yes or no? Everyone. Very good. This is right. Only Janab says the correct thing. Are you guys sleeping or what? So the number is odd. Right. Now execute this. The number is odd. Now comes 6. Number is even. This is the code that you have written. Everyone is happy, smiling, living a life. But God will not forgive you because you have not been taught actually how to write a production ready code or industry application code. What if here in this case, instead of 6, some value comes like this, CareerCraft. What will happen in this case, guys? It will throw an error. Your program will break. So in this case, what should you do? Everyone, what can be done here so that this particular function will not throw an error? Anyone has any idea? Now how to move ahead? How to write a function so that in such corner cases, it will not throw an error. Everyone has to answer this. How to write the code? Quickly, guys. Quickly, everyone. Ayush says exceptions. Okay, you have not studied exception. Apart from that, Sada says something. Santanu, you are just writing. Oh, okay. Santanu has. Very good, Santanu. You are very close. Actually, you have written it correctly. Right. Right. Other people? Other people? Right. Other people? Quickly. Guys, you just need to have a check. Right. There are other formal ways, but if you are at this level, right, you are writing a code, then what you can just write? Here you can just simply write if type of num, because number is there, is equals to int, then only check this. Else, else, you can simply write else Monjolika will kill you. Return, 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 return. My Monjolika will kill you. My Monjo will kill you. Please write the code, write the code with proper checks. Checks. See here. This is the way you write the code. Even odd, just write it like this. Now you write something. Let's say this time, first of all, let's provide 3. So let's say 103. See, the number is odd. Now this time you pass a string, right? Monjo. See here what happens. My Monjo will kill you. Please write the code with proper checks. Right. Right. Further, once you start understanding exceptional handling, we will look at it in more detail. But as of now, you can use conditionals, at least this, to write a error-free code. Clear? Right? Is it clear? Yes or no? So far, so good. Yes or no, guys, quickly. Right? Right. Now, next thing. Can I call this function in a loop? Can I call this function in a loop? Right? Calling function in a loop. Calling a function in a loop. In a loop. In a loop. The answer is yes. You can call the function in loop as well. How? Very easy. For I in range of 1 to 11. Right? What you can do? For I in range 1 to 11. Right? You can just put anything. I'm just putting 1 to 11. You can put 1000 as well. Right? Right. And then what you can do? Right? Just copy this. Check even odd. Check even odd. Right? And then just write it here. Check even odd. And here pass the I. For all I, it will check if it is even or odd. Try to execute, you will not get any result. Why? You have not stored this. So first of all, stored this, or let's say result is equals to this, and then just write print result. Now once you do so, you will get the result like this. The number is even, the number is even, the number is odd, something like that. So you can call the function like this. Is it clear? So far so good. Right? 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 Everyone so far so good. Should I give you guys more question? So this is going to be a more interesting question. Right? Write a function. Right? Right? Write a function that takes, write a function that takes list as input, list as input, and return all numeric values. All numeric values. So now guys, this is the question. Right. Write a function that takes list as input and return all the values. So for example, input will be like this. Input will be something like this. Let's say it can be anything. 1, 2, let's say 3, 4, let's say CareerCraft, then maybe let's say here outside this it can be you know, some value like this, let's say true, let's say Ajay, and it should give you the output. The output should be only values. Let's say maybe in a list, get the list value 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say I will just put here 100 so that you are clear with the inputs. Is it clear, everyone? Can you guys do this? Write a function that takes list as input and return all numeric values. I'm not expecting any right answer. I'm just giving you this as a homework. Please try to do this. Please try to do this. Right? Please try to do this. Everyone will try it. Yes or no? Everyone will try it quickly. Yes or no? Very good. Please try to do it. I'm not expecting. In the notebook that I will upload, you will be having the right answer. And if you guys have any doubt, you can ask me. Not a problem. Now guys, moving ahead. So there were 4 types of argument. Positional argument, we have seen. Keyword argument, we have seen. We have seen the default argument. Very good. Now comes the variable length argument. Variable length argument. This is something we are going to look at now. What is the meaning of this variable length argument? Obviously, you understand. And actually, I will just write one more thing. Variable length argument is of 2 types, right? I will discuss one each one by one. Not a problem. So let's say here arguments, and here I will just write also keyword arguments. So quarks. Both are very important concept. I will discuss in detail. No need to worry about that. But first of all, let's start with variable length argument. What is the meaning of this? So this question is your homework. Now coming to this variable length argument. Guys, you have to answer me, what is variable length argument? Variable length means where the argument, the number of arguments. What is the meaning of this? Variable length, where the number of arguments is not fixed. Yes or no, everyone? Right. This is the understanding. Right. Very good. Not a problem. Now, let's start with this particular argument and try to understand its use case. So if you guys remember, we had addition, def addition of 2 numbers. So if you wanted to add 2 numbers, then it was A and B, and then let's say return A plus B. Very good, not a problem. This was the understanding. You called this value addition and just write here 3 plus 5. Very good. So 3 and 5, you got 3 plus 5, that is 8. Very good. This was not a problem. But here, you knew one thing. You knew one thing, that the values of the arguments will be only 2 in number. Right? It is fixed, right? Here it is fixed, only 2 arguments will be there, will be there, will be there. It's fixed. It's fixed. Right. What if you pass any other value, right? Addition, and let's say here in this case you want to pass 1, 2, 3. What it will give you? It will give you an error. Now, how to make sure that you pass or you can pass as number of arguments you want? How to do that? Right. How to do that? So in this case, we have something called args. So here I will just copy this, right, 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 right. To pass as many number of arguments, 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 arguments you want. As many as arguments you want. So for that, we have something called args, right? So what does args do? So let's say here, I will just write args, star args. So let's see what it does. So here what I will do, I will just return args. See, I am not doing anything. I will return args. So now I am returning args, right? So let's say addition. Let's say addition. Very good. And just pass any value you want. So let's say here pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. True, true, right? Some string, abra, cadabra, whatever you want to put, right? You also put, let's say Monjolika, right? Monjolika. Do it. You will get the result as it is in the form of tuple. Right. This is the understanding. Now let's say if you want to add a number, let's say diff, addition, you want to add now number. What you can do guys here? How to add the number? You know that here, you know that it is in a form of tuples. So you can now iterate through it. So let's say sum is equals to, right, sum is equals to 0. Don't write sum because that is a Python function. So let's say sum is equals to 0 for I in args because you iterate a tuple in this way. So here I will just write tuple. Right. Now here you are iterating a tuple. So input becomes tuple. Input becomes tuple. Very easy. Now iterating through tuples. Through tuples. So for I in args, what you can do? Very easy. Sum is equals to sum plus I. Something like that. And at the end of the day, you can also return it. Very easy. Now in addition, pass all the numbers. So addition, here you can just write, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See here, 6. Okay. Okay, I've just missed something. S equals to sum plus 1. Return sum. Addition 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why it is coming this? Have I executed this? For I in args, sum plus I have done it. Sum is equals to sum plus I. Maybe I have done some mistake. What I can do? Print. It is 1. Okay. Okay, I understood. I have done this by mistake, guys. This should be I. So now if you see 21. Right. Right. So this is understanding. Right. So now you pass any number of variable. It doesn't matter. Just remove. See. This is your variable length argument. This is your variable length argument. This is the understanding. Now, you must be thinking, Ajay, instead of argument, can you? Yes, Pius, you can do that as well. So you can also do this sum, because sum is a function of a tuple. So you can just write sum of arguments. So sum is a function of tuples. Mostly, let's see it. So args, and just do this. Right now, call this addition. Still, you will get the same value. See here, 12. So you can do this way as well, because sum is a function for the argument. Very good. Not a problem. Now, what I was thinking, I was discussing. Okay, this is your argument. Now, is it that this argument is a Python keyword? Everyone? Is it argument is a Python keyword? A special Python keyword? Right. The answer is no. Instead of arguments, you can also provide your name as well. So here you can pass the name something like this. Maybe let's say any name. Sada. Sada. And just do Sada. Right. It doesn't matter. It's not a Pythonic keyword. Right. See here. You will get the same value. So argument is not a Pythonic keyword. Is not a Pythonic keyword. Then why do we write so? There's a reason behind it. Right. So everyone wanted to have, right, a common notation, some standard reference. Right. Right. And that's why people use argument. And in industry, you are also going to use the same thing. Now, what is argument? So we have understood a formal definition you have to write. Then you will just write something like that. Allows to pass a variable length, variable length of non-keyword argument. So this is the understand. This is the. So guys, do you want to solve one more problem? Everyone? You want to solve a more problem? Okay, so let me think. Okay, write a function which can accept any number of numbers and returns the product of all the numbers. Can you guys try it out? Everyone, please try it out. Just try it out, guys. Write a function which accepts any number of numbers and gives you the product. Everyone did it? Okay, a lot of people has done it, guys. Very good. Uh, nice, nice, nice. Uh, Very good. Right. So now, right, right, right. Here, what we have to do, how to write a function. So should I explain it or should you guys try it out in your homework? Okay, I'll just copy paste one code. Right. Let's say f equals to 1. Right. Very good. I will just copy the code of Ajit. Let's say Ajit has written it. Right. It is going to be very easy. Right. So here this is the function def func is equals to arguments. So guys, to do a multiplication, you can multiply any number with 1. It doesn't matter. So f is equals to 1 for starting part. Then we have for I in arguments. Whatever arguments you have, right? Then f is equals to f into I, right? So f is 1 already. Then you multiply whatever numbers are there, and finally you can return the f. Return the f. Done and see it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 120. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? Right? Yes or no? Quickly. Right? Very good. Very good. We have now understood a very important thing that we had to. Now moving ahead. Moving ahead. Right. So now, first of all, I will just take a pause that so that I can just see all the people. Rutvik, Ayush, Tushar, Vedic. Do you guys have any problem understanding so far? Sushant, Rajkumar, Adeline, for Ada, Azubo. So Ada, do you have any problem? Ada, are you there? Pius, Adeline, do you have a problem? Pratiksha, Ajit, Rishikesh, Dipti. Anyone has any problem? Afrin, Parveen, Santanu, Sajil, Naglata, Sada. Right. Anyone has any problem so far? Right? Right. 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 Everyone is saying all good. Right. 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 Okay. Ada is there. Welcome, Ada. Are you understanding, Ada, everything? I guess, Ada, this is the first class of your today, right? Uh, Piyush says, sir, please explain this part once again. Piyush, बहुत easy है, very simple thing, right? So you want to just multiply things. You already know argument is a form of tuple. So you have to just access each element and you have to multiply it. That's it, right? Nothing else. Very good. Adeline says just need to practice. Ada says yes, overwhelming, but getting it. Very good. I have given you guys enough practice questions in the assignment. Did you guys saw the assignment, everyone? I don't know how many of you have seen the assignment. I've given you a lot of questions, 60 questions. That would be a lot of practice. I guess 60 or 69, 70, I don't remember exactly. But I've given you a lot of questions. Now guys, should I move ahead now? Everyone, right? Now there is one more concept. So let's say you passed, right, argument in this way. It was a list. But let's say if you want to pass arguments, right, 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 in a form of some mapping, key value pair, right? How can you do that, right? So for that, we have something called asterisk asterisk quogs. So KW means keyword argument. Keyword argument. What is the meaning of this? I will talk about this in detail. Keyword argument. So arguments arguments are treated as key value pair. Key value pair. First thing, this should be very much clear. Now, what is the meaning of this? What is the understanding? We'll try to understand this in depth. So let's say we will make a function, def cog function, cog function, cog function. And here you can just write asterisk asterisk quarks. Again, you can write anything, not necessary that this should be coaxan only. You can write your own name. And now I will just make it return this only, return quarks, and see what happens. Right. Right. So here I will just call it as keyword argument functions. I will just call it and see how the input is provided. So keyword argument function, I'll just write it like this. And now here I pass the value. Let's say A is equals to 2, B is equals to 3, C is equals to 5, D is equals to some list 3, 5, 6. Let's say E is equals to some tuple. Let's say 1, 2, anything, and see what happens. What do you see, guys? What do you see here? You simply see that this is a dictionary, and here the arguments that you have provided is key value pair, key value pair, key value pair, key value pair. So here I can just write arguments, arguments, arguments are treated as dictionary. Is it clear? Right? Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Everyone, yes or no? Quickly. No. While defining, if you write B equals to code, A is equals to Python, that is not a keyword argument. Keyword argument here, it should be variable. You are fixing there, Santanu. That is positional, whatever you have written. Right. It should be variable. You are fixing A and B. Right. And actually that you have used as a default argument. Right. But here if you see, you can call this way also. You can remove one element as well. Not a problem. It will not throw you an error. Try to do the same thing in your code. Right. 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 Try to do the same thing in your code. You will realize that actually it is throwing an error. Just remove B. Right. Right. Anyone else has any questions? Right. Okay. Anyone else? Right. Should I move ahead, guys, now? Maybe let's take some break, guys, now. Let's take more 5 minutes of break, and then we will again start. Okay? So let's take 5 minutes of break, maybe, and then we will restart again. So we start, guys, everyone. Right? Very good. Very good. So let's start again, guys. Right. Now, now, now. Right. Again, I will give you some homework. Obviously, this depends on you. Right. So, is my screen visible, everyone? Yes? Quickly, everyone. Very good. Very good. Now, we have understood almost everything about function. There are few more things which are very important. But before that, I will give you a homework. Please try to do this. Write a function that takes variable keyword argument, keyword argument, keyword argument, argument, and return only the value, which is a list, similar to the previous question that I had given you the homework. Now you must be thinking one thing that is very, very important. I don't know how many of you are thinking, but this is very, very important. What is that thing? Right. One is argument, one is keyword argument. Can we have both together in the function? Have you thought this? Right. Food for thought. Right. Have you thought this? One is argument, another is keyword argument. Not a problem. Now the question is, can we have both arguments and keyword arguments together? Right? Together. That is the question. Can we have that, guys? Quickly. Many of you are saying yes. So how we can have? Right. Very easy. Right. Right. Very easy. Just write something like this. Right. Here I can just write def maybe func. Here you can just pass arguments, args, and then we can have keyword args bookworks. Very simple. Done. And then you can just return args and keyword args just to see it, how it looks, works. And try to do this. So let's say this is a function, right? So what do you do in arguments? Right. Right. In function. So let's say this is a function. So you pass the value 1, 2, 3. What you do in keyword arguments? You pass the value like this. D is equals to 1, 2, 3. Or let's say A is equals to 4, 5, 6. Something like this. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Execute. See? Easy. This has been treated as arguments. Variable length positional argument. This has been treated as keyword argument. That's it. Right? That's the understanding. Right? Clear, everyone? Everyone, is it clear? Right. Yes or no? Is it clear or not? Quickly. So this is the way you understand. Right? Right. So this was the last thing related to arguments. There are more things in the function. We will discuss one by one. But now, if I have to, summarize about arguments and keyword arguments, So key points. What I can write, guys, quickly? What are the key points? Here, order of arguments and keyword arguments matters, right? And instead of args and quags, you can use anything. You can use anything. Clear? Right. This is the understanding. This is the understanding. Now, we have a next big thing coming up. Have you ever thought, right? Have you ever thought how function is stored, right? How function is stored? Have you ever thought, guys? Right? Or in other word, let's say, forget function, the storage. Have you ever thought how function is actually executed? That's the question. Now, that's the biggest question. How functions are stored and executed in the memory. This is the question, guys. This you have to think. Right. This you have to think and I have to answer it. Anyone has any idea? Sada says as an object. Very good. Anyone else? In Python, everything is an object. Right, Sada? Right. Anyone else? Right. Anyone has any idea, right? How function works? How function is stored in the memory? This is a very important question, guys. No one has any idea? Okay. Okay, guys. Not a problem. Right. Not a problem. Let's try to understand this. So, how functions are executed? So, how I can do? I will just first of all, how functions are executed. I will talk about this, and then also I will talk about how functions are stored. Obviously, as an object. That is for sure 100%. Function is stored like an object. I will just show you as well. So, how functions are executed. So, maybe I will just write how functions are stored. So, first of all, let's start understanding this. Right. So, let's say I have a function def sum underscore ab, a comma b, and then it returns. Guys, whoever is sleeping, please be attentive now, because this is very important concept. You might not be knowing this, right? So very important, right? So now here, let's say sum underscore 3 comma 5 or 3 comma 5. So it is you are getting 8. Very good, not a problem. So that says that function is stored as an object. He is actually correct. To understand this, how functions are stored, we have one concept, right? We have one concept, right? That is called as first class citizen in programming. What is this first class citizen in programming? So in every programming language, the most basic things, what are the most basic things, guys? In every programming language, What is the most basic thing? In every programming language, what is the most basic thing? Santanu says syntax. Very good, Santanu. You are correct. Apart from that, the most basic thing is the data type. Yes or no? Everyone agrees to this? Integer, float, right? Right, right. So basic data types like like integer, integer, float is called as first class citizen. And guys, this is very important. Very important. Right. So you just Google it out. First class citizen in programming language. First class citizen in programming language. Just see it, right? In a given programming language, a first class citizen is an entity that can be treated like any other data type, such as number, string, or object. Right. So in other programming language, so I can just write basic data type like integer, float, string, something like that is called as first class citizen. In other programming language, in other programming language, only data types, only data types are, only data types are first class citizen. And that's why if you just write a is equals to 5 and just do type of a, let's say type of a, it will show you integer, right? And the moment you do id of a, it shows you where actually this integer is stored. This is the memory block, gives the memory block where it is stored. We have already seen this, where it is stored. I have already discussed this, right? But do you know about the function? Do you know about this function? This is very, very interesting, guys. This is your sum function, right? Right. This is your sum function. Don't call this, right? Right. Just do type of this, type of this, right? See, this is a function, right? Right. But one more thing that is very, very interesting. But in Python, functions, functions are also stored as first citizen, citizen, first class citizen, first class citizen. How to verify this? Very simple. Just do id of the function name. Wherever it is stored, you will get the memory block. So actually, function is acting as a data type, is acting as a data type. This is the first thing. This is the first thing. And in fact, if you want to execute this code, just write like this. This is sum. This is the function. Just write like this. A is equals to sum. Right? See type of A. If you just write type of A, see it is a function. Right? If you see id of A, see it is the value. The same value that earlier. Now you want to call A. If you want to call A now, again just pass the value something like this and you will realize it gives you 5. What happened here? You have just reassigned this memory block to a variable E. Right? You can simply write it here. You have reassigned, 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 reassigned the memory block of sum to a silo copy. That's it. to A. This is very, very interesting. And this is how function is stored in the memory. The function is stored as the data type. Right. So far, so clear? Everyone? Right. Right. Santanu says upar. Santanu, very easy. Right. Very easy. The way data type is stored. Right. Similarly, the function is also stored. Oh, Santanu is saying shallow copy. Okay. Right. Is it clear, everyone, how function is stored in the memory block? Everyone has to answer with a yes or no. If no, I will repeat it again, but this is something you will rarely find an explanation. Is it clear, everyone? Guys, I don't think today I will be able to start with iterators and generators. I don't know when I will start with iterators and generators. But anyway. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Everyone has to answer this quickly. Very good. Now the bigger question is, how function is executed? Right. Right. Piyush says today function will also not be completed. I think so. No, today function will be completed. Now the question is, because see, we are guys studying in everything in detail. Right. Now the question is, how function is actually executed? Right. Right. So here I have not written anything. So what I will do, I will just write everything in the notebook itself so that everything is okay. How function is executed? Now that's the important question. How the function is executed? So now guys, this is a disclaimer. Don't worry about this. Whatever technical things I am going to throw on you, you no need to worry about that. It's not necessary that you know these things, right? To some extent, we are going to study about this in memory management, but let's see what happens. So let's say this is a function, right? You have a RAM. Let's say this is a function, right? Function is stored where? In the memory block. Let's say RAM. It is stored, right? Now, in this RAM, let's say we have 3 division. I'm just writing 3 division. First is call stack. Second one is heap memory. Third one is execution context. I will write everything. Assume, right? Just write. Assume. See, function is stored in RAM. Actually, not assumption, it is correct thing. So function is stored in RAM, and assume it has only 3 parts, and assume it has 3 parts. First one is call stack. Second one is heap memory, right? And third one is execution context. You must be wondering what is this. So whoever is coming from computer science background, they might be having one semester syllabus of OS, operating system. I don't know if you guys have studied that, right? In that, chapters, in those chapters, it is taught actually. But let's say our job is not to get into that. Our job is to understand actually how function is executed. So function is stored in RAM. Assume it has 3 parts: call stack, heap memory, execution context. So far so good, everyone. Everyone, so far so good, right? It's very easy thing. So far, easy thing, right? Right? Now, 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 now comes the interesting part. When a function is defined, it is stored in the program memory as a code block, right? So when a function is defined, function is defined, it is stored in the memory block. We already know, I had showed you using ID, it is stored in the memory block. Memory block. Verify using ID. Verify using ID. ID name. Function name. Very good. Function name. Not a problem till here. Now comes the interesting thing. So here the function name serves as a reference. So here I will just write and function name serves as reference to memory location. Till here it should not be any problem because these things already we have seen. We know this is the way data type also works, right? This is the way data type also works. You store something, there is some reference, and we have already seen it. So far so good, everyone. Here till this second point it is good, everyone. Whenever I say everyone has to comment, guys. Everyone has to comment. That should not be any exception, right? Right? So far it should be good. Now comes the interesting part. Now you call a function. So whenever you write a function, so I will just show you how it works. Python tutor. I will show you one thing. Whenever you call a function, so let's say this is a function. Where it is a function? There was a sum function. Where is sum function? So this is a sum function. So let's say I will just copy this, edit code and API. So let's say here I will just copy this here and I will just write sum of 2 3. Now visualize execution. See guys, what is going to happen, right? First of all, it will start with execution of this, right? I will just see this def sum, there is the arrow. Very good. Now next, once you click the next, see what is happening here. Global frame sum, it has just came to sum underscore. It means what? This sum underscore AB is the object. It doesn't go inside this, right? It is not going inside this. Once it sees sum, actually once it sees def, whenever it sees a def keyword, first it will make a variable. Okay, sum is there, right? And it comes where it is called, right? So I'll just write, right? Now when a function is created, right? The object is created. And once you execute the code and Python sees def, the object is initialized, right? And it directly goes to the place or goes to the line where function is called. That's the understanding, right? You can visualize this using Python tutor, right? Visualize it using Python tutor. Very simple. Python tutor. Please do visualize it. Right. Right. So now it has entered like this. Very good. Now just press next and see what happens. It will again go back to this because this has been called now. So now see here, some variable has two arguments, 2 and 3. And now it will go to the return or execute the code, and then finally the return value is 5, and that's how you get the result. This is the execution process of sum. This is how it is executed. So now, right, directly goes to line when function is called. Then after that, it enters the function, do the computation, and at last, it returns the result. This is the way it is happening. But where it is happening? That is the question. Right. So now, the moment the function is called, right now, this is the process happening, right here, process happening, or function calling, working, function call working in the following way. But how? This is something we have to understand. But how? How function calling is working now? How function calling is working? This is something that we need to understand. We have understood the whole process. Very good. Now, when a function is called, called, a memory is allocated for the execution. And where it happens? As the name itself suggests, at the call stack memory. So this was memory. It has three parts. Let's say call stack, heap memory, execution context. So when a function is called, a memory is allocated for the execution. Right. Memory, or let's say resource. Even if you write resource is allocated for the execution. Right. Where it happens? It happens within the call stack, which manages function calls and their execution context. This is the next thing. Now, fine. When a function is called, a resource is allocated for the execution. Parallelly, one more thing happens, because nothing can be run without the execution context. So a function is called. Very good. Now what will happen? The function will be invoked. When a function is invoked, invoked means some function is somewhere there, someone is calling, right? It is happening at a call stack. Now it will be invoked, ready or initialized for the computation. For that, an execution context is created. And what happens in the execution context? What is there in execution context? So execution context has three things, mainly has three things. What are those three things? First, variables, right? If it is a local variable, global variable, that we are going to talk about that, right? What are local variables and arguments, where those are stored, something like that. Then we have scope chain. Scope chain. Scope chain. It actually links the global variable with the local variable. What is global variable and local variable? I will talk about that. Right. It will link different variables. And one more thing, instruction pointer. And finally, instruction pointer. Instruction pointer which keeps track of the execution of the line of the next line of the function. This is how it works, right? When I was preparing the content for you guys, I was also very surprised that this is the way it works. And finally, once this is done, so call stack done, right? Then we have execution context, right? Now what will happen? Once the execution context is ready, right? Everything, the variables and all of those things are pushed again back to the call stack, right? Now what will happen? The next step, very easy. Next step, right? So execution context is put or is sent back to call stack, because they are calling with all the variables, and the function is executed in LIFO, last in first out. It means last in first out. I have discussed this LIFO in the last lecture as well, in the least segment. But whatever is there, whatever comes the last, it will be executed first. That's it. Right. And now, finally, after this, what happens? The execution context has everything. Execution context has everything. So it has now the invocation, it has the argument. Now what it will do? Whatever data you have, right? So now what will happen? So everything is there in call stack, this part of the memory. Now everything or the computation will happen, right? The computation will now happen. So what will happen, guys, here? So here you can just now everything is with the call stack. Now execution will happen. Very simple till here. Now one more thing, what is the role of heap memory? What is the role of heap memory? Right. If the function allocates the dynamic memory, it means if there is some data structure, something like using append or something like that, right? Then the data is stored in the heap memory, which is actually managed by Python itself, which is automatically managed by garbage collection in Python. So this is the complete understanding of how Python works. I will summarize everything again, then go back to the questions that you guys have asked. So how it works, guys, it's very simple. I will again explain it. So let's say there is a function you have defined. Very good. Right. Now what will happen? This function will be stored in a memory, let's say RAM. RAM can have three parts. First one is call stack, right? Very easy. Call stack. Call stack simply means whenever you want some some function to be called, something like that, right? Then we are going to have, right, execution execution context, right? And then we are going to have heap memory, heap memory. Now, how it works, right? Very easy. Whenever a function is called, right, right. So first of all, function is stored in a memory with some ID, right? Whenever is a function is called, what will happen? Call stack allocates some memory for execution. Then once it allocates, it also triggers execution context. Execution context tries to find out which is the local variable or global variable, how they are interacting. Once it finds out, again sends back to call stack, and here it will get executed with everything. And finally, in this execution or in this computation, if some dynamic memory is required, then this heap memory is used. I don't know how many of you have used Java, but in Java, this heap memory problem is a lot of things out there. Piyush says explain heap memory once again. So heap memory is helpful to create the dynamic memory. So for example, A is equals to 2, B equals to 3. Now this is fixed. This is fixed. Now if you are doing A into B, let's say this is a big number. This is a big number. Now the memory required for A asterisk B can be a very, very big number, which was not created by execution context. Then as soon as you do computation, it will start having more and more memory. In the last class, I had discussed in the list what is the difference between list and array. I had discussed this. Then what will happen? Each time it will create 2x of the memory. It will create 2x of the memory. How it is created? So this is the place where heap memory comes into the picture and it just solves the problem. This is the understanding how function works. Is it clear, everyone, now? Anyone has any questions, please go ahead and ask. Last line scroll, please say it. Anyone else has any question? Guys, you have to write it yes or no, guys. If you not understood, please do let me know. I will explain it again, summarize it again for you. But this is the complete understanding how actually this is executed. Many of you might find it something like this, that okay, this is not relatable, this is not something required. But guys, believe me, right, if you are working in a role that is actually impacting the business, you should have this much of knowledge, this depth of knowledge. Now moving ahead, this we have understood. Then we have, right, then we have Python namespace. What is this Python namespace? Python namespace. Namespace. That is which are local variable, and global variable. So let's try to understand this. Very easy to understand, right? Very small topic to understand this. So let's say we have a function def, some function, like you can just make any function. So let's say here def, and just I will write here grit, right? Def grit, and here I will just put it something like this, grit, and here I have put like this. Now message is equals to something like this, right? Hi, welcome, very good. Now here you can just write print message, right? See it, guys, what happens. So whenever you just grit, right, we'll just call it, it will print hi welcome. Very good, not a problem. But the moment you write message like this, what will happen, guys, everyone? Will it give you the value? Yes or no? Everyone, right? It will throw you an error. Name message is not defined. Why? So because here message is a local variable. What is the meaning of local variable? Can be accessed, can be accessed inside the function only. Can be accessed inside the function only. Right, right. But now, let's say I have a variable, right? I have a variable outside this function. I have a variable outside this function. Hi, welcome. Now here, rest message. Hi, welcome. Let's say I'll just write rest of the message. Rest. Hi, welcome to 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 CareerCraft classes. CareerCraft class. Now this is the question. Interesting, right? Now here, if you just write plus rest, what will happen, the guys here? Just try to execute grid, right? See, hi, welcome to CC class, CareerCraft class. So this rest is global variable, global variable. So this global variable can be accessed inside the function. That's the understanding. That's the understanding. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? So a variable defined inside a function can be accessed only inside that function. A variable defined outside the function can be accessed inside the function as well. Yes or no? Quickly. Is it clear? Right? Right. 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 Very good. Very good. Now we are going towards the nested function or function inside function. Right. We are going to go inside or we are going to learn a nested function. So for that, I will just, let's take a 5 minutes of more break and then we will start with the nested function. Right. PUC is saying scroll up, please. Okay, I have scrolled up. Okay, let's take a 5 minutes of break and then we will again restart. Okay. So guys, let's start. Everyone back? Yes or no? Quickly. Should we start? We have only like 15-20 minutes of content left for today. Don't worry about that. Today we are going to complete function and then we will move ahead. Should we start, guys? Quickly. Everyone, yes or no? Right. Very good. So are you guys enjoying this lecture or is it bored for you? Learning something new? Okay. Bored? Okay, guys. So let's start. So now we have understood almost everything about the function. We have understood everything in detail, right? Now there is one more concept called nested function, right? What is this nested function or function inside a function? Nested function or function inside a function inside a function. So let's try to understand this. And this is going to be very, very important. Very important. So let's say, right, you have a function, right, something called marks in subject. Define marks subjects. So you have marks subjects which can have different marks and different subjects. So let's say quarks. Very easy. Right. So what you want to do? You want to separate marks and separate subject. So there will be keyword argument, right, which will be like something like this. I'll just show you. So marks subject. So this is the function name. In this marks subject, let's say the argument is something like this. Subject A, or let's say I'll just write it like this. A is equals to something, let's say 40, right? B is equals to 46 marks. And C is equals to, let's say, 98 marks. Right? So in subject A, it is 40 marks. In subject B, it is 47 marks. And in subject C, it is 98 marks. Now what do you have to do? You have to first separate this marks, whatever you want, whatever marks you have, and then sum the total marks for that particular student. Right? So how can you do that? So first, separate the marks. So maybe marks is equals to this. This is a list of marks. So for subject and mark in, right? And since this is a dictionary, what you can do? Quarks.items. Quarks.items. Already you know that this is a dictionary, so you can just do quarks.items. Very good. What you can do now? Marks.append. Marks.append, and then you can just write mark. Here, mark. Now as you have to sum it. Now for summing up, so let's say if you just call it, so let's say maybe I will just write return marks. Return marks. I will just do this. So I'll execute. See, it has returned all the marks. Very good. Right. So returns all the marks. Returns all the marks. Not a problem. Till here, not a problem. So now you want to sum up the marks. So now you want to sum up the marks. Now sum up the marks. Right. So now you want to sum up the marks. So here I am writing a different function. Right. That actually sum up the marks. So here I will just write return, def total. Def total. So this total will actually take a list, right, whatever marks is there, right, and then just return sum of sum of this particular list marks. This is the understanding. Now just execute this, but here before executing one thing, pass this to this particular function. So you can just pass this to the function. So total. So the moment you pass it, so let's say you can just pass it. Now execute this. Now call this. So you will now call this. You will realize that now here you will see the value 185. So in a function inside a function. So this is a function inside this particular function. And how to call it? Easily just define the function name and you can just call it. So this is the total, it is being just called. How it executes? Very easy. Whenever you call this marks subject, so whenever you are calling marks subject, it goes inside this, sees that keyword argument, it executes this, it executes this, it executes this. While returning, it sees there is another function total. Again go back to this total, sum up and then return the marks. This is the way it works. Again, you can see, copy the code in pythontutor.com and see whatever the app we had discussed, we had seen here, and see the way of execution. But the best practice is not to keep this function here. The best practice is to keep the function outside, right? Many of the people, do it differently. Best practice is to keep the function outside, So what you can do here, just keep this here, and now here you can just put it. Now execute this, you will get the value. So let's say you executed unexpected indentation. Okay, here, sorry, so their total marks, and then here the screen is not visible, guys. Everyone, is it so? The screen is not visible. So 185. The screen is not visible, guys. Quickly. Okay, no worries. I will just make sure the screen is visible. Is the screen visible now? Very good. So this is the way you actually execute the thing. This is the best practice, right? Is it clear? Yes or no, everyone? Right. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Let's try to see one more example. Let's say we have a function, let's say def of fx. Let's say fx. This is a function fx. See it carefully. Fx. Now see what I am going to do. So again I am going to define a different function. Let's say gx, or let's say g. Let's say this. Right. Now what I am going to do? Right. So let's say here I will just write x is equals to some value. Let's say pqr. Very easy. Now I will increase this x by 1. So let's say x is equals to x plus 1. Where? Outside this function. Now here, if this line is executing, where it is? So I can just write print. Where I am? In fx. I am in fx, and then I can just write x is equals to, maybe this value is x. Right. This is your x. See it carefully. Now what I am going to do? Right. Here I am going to do some h function. So g function here. So let's say g is the function here, and now finally I will just write return x. Right. If you just want to put any other value, just put it here, x equals to 3 maybe. Right. Now let's see what happens, guys. Right. Here just execute this, fine. Now call this function. So let's say if you want to call this function f with the value 3 or 5, any value, let's say f of 5. What will happen? So what will happen first? Fx here, it will go inside this fx. So if you see in fx, x is equals to 6. How it happens actually? How it happened? This is very interesting to understand. This is very important, right? Right. So here what will happen? The moment you went inside this function fx, right? Right. So maybe I will just use this Python tutorial. Good. This is going to be very interesting. Try to understand this execution. So I'll just copy this, edit this code, and see what happens. Very good. Visualization, execution. See it carefully. Def return. Okay, I haven't put the starting point. So I'll just put this as well. F of 5. F of 5. So now just execute this. Visualize execution. So what happens? Let's say next. First comes f of 5. So now this is a function f of x, and here this value is going to be 5. Very good. See here, this is the red arrow. Now here comes, now this next line is going to be executed. So this line is executed, and this is the next line going to be executed. Now x value has 5. See carefully. Then next it comes to def g. Now what will happen, guys? I had told you, the moment it see the function, it will go to the place where it is called. So let's say here it will come here. Okay, not here. So basically here, after in this fx, it will come to this, right? Because it is a function inside function. So here function becomes here, if you see, g parent is equals to f1, right? So here just it removes this, right? And this is going to be a line where it is getting executed, and it comes next line x equals to x plus 1, right? Because this function is inside, this x is inside fx. So now let's move ahead. So here comes print fx equals to x. So now it has increased the value 1 by 1, and then again next execute, then it goes to g, and then it will call this g, and then it will execute as it is, whatever it is. So now this is particular return x, and this is the value that we will get it. Very easy to understand. Very easy. So what is happening? In a very simple way, just see the function f of 5, just goes here. Here it sees the function name. It skips that because already you know that whenever it sees the function name, it will not be executed until unless it sees the calling of this function, invoking of this function. So it goes here now, x equals to x plus 1, 5 has increased by 6, it has been printed here, then it sees g, then it comes again here, and that's why you don't see x equals to 3. You don't see that. Why? Because at a later stage, g is being printed. Very easy to understand, but if you guys have any doubt, so let's say you can just ask me. G is not executed until fx execution is completed. Execution is completed. That's the understanding so far. Okay, now if you want to delete the function, but before that, do you guys have any questions so far? Anyone wants to ask any questions? Quickly, guys. Anyone wants to ask questions? Any question that you have? Please, guys, go ahead and ask. So far, so good, everyone. Did you understood how the nested function works? Yes or no, guys? Wherever it is called, it starts execution from there. Very simple. Now, if you want to delete a function, how can you delete? Very easy. Just write delete of f. It will be deleted. Now, if you want to execute this, name f is not defined. So, deleting a function. So, since function acts like an object, function acts like a data type, you can delete as well. You can delete as well. You can delete as well using del. That's it. Done. Anyone has any questions? Quickly, guys. Anyone has any questions so far? Ritu says after fx, why didn't g got executed? G got executed. You have to just write a print statement maybe. Print, right? Print now the x is. Just write like this. Now see, it will be executed. It is executed. It is just that you didn't execute it. First fx is x equals to 6. Now the x is g. X is 3. So now the x is this, and I am inside gx. Very simple. Right. Got it? Yes or no, Ritu? Is it clear? Right. You can delete the function like this. Right. Sir, end may 6 because here output is first. So as I mentioned earlier, here, so here you call the function f5. You call the function f5. Here it is called, it comes and see gx. So it has not been called yet, so it will not execute because this has not been invoked, this has not been called, fx has been called. So now it goes to this x equals to x plus 1. So 5 value has been incremented to 6, then this line has been executed. So here if you see fx is 6, then after that g is called. The moment g is called, then it enter inside the g, and then this is executed. Then how you see the x is, I am inside gx. Clear? Yes or no? Quickly. Right. 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 Okay. Some after execution, g is 6. That is return value. Returning, I am returning x at the last. If you don't repeat, put this return, then it will not give you 6. See, there's nothing. I am returning x in the last. Return x. And that's how you see the value. Clear? Yes or no? Right. Now, this was function inside function. Can we have more variant? Let's dive more deep into this. Right, right, right. Can you return a function? Returning a function. This is again going to be very interesting. Can you return a function? Let's say this is our function. So this is our function. Or okay, I will just take this function. Okay, def f. I will just take this function. Very good. Right. So let's say this is your function f of this. Now this is g of this. Maybe let's say here it takes two parameters a and b, right? And it returns a plus b. Just put it return a plus b, return a plus b. Returning a function. See it carefully. So this is your function fx. I will not put any argument. Maybe let's say remove it. Doesn't matter. F g of a and b, return a plus b, and last return x. So let's say this is a function. Now what I am going to do, right? See it carefully. If I call this function f, fine, x is not defined. Okay, x is not defined here. So here the x is not defined. Maybe what I can do, okay, let it. So now this is your f. Let's say I will what I will do, I will just pass some value, maybe 1 comma 2, and then I will just do x. So maybe I will do here, maybe I will do I will do 3 here. I will not return this. What I'm going to do, maybe I'll just try to return g and let's see what happens. Okay, fine, I've done g. So now, right, what I have done, this is going to be again interesting. So this is your function. Let's say if you call this function like this. So this is a main function. Very good. See it carefully. F is the main function. F is the main function. Right. And if you just see the g, what is g? Here if you see local, so g is a function inside function. That is the local function. So this is a global scope and this is a local scope. So G is a local value. This is a local function inside the main function. Local function inside main function. Main function. This is very interesting. So when you call this f, it just says that this is a main function. Very good. It is not returning anything. Why? For f, right, we are actually returning G, which is a local function. And what does it require? This requires argument a and b. Now you just pass the argument, maybe let's say 1, 2, and you will see you will get the result 3. This is actually very, very interesting. This is the ultimate depth. You guys should know, you guys should understand. Obviously, in day-to-day life, rarely you might use, sometimes you use, sometimes you can use, right? But this is the understanding. Last thing, function as an argument. Have you ever thought that function can also be used in argument? Argument. This is again interesting, right? So let's say def f. So this is a function f, right? So I can just write print inside function f. Inside function f. Inside function f. Very good. Not a problem. Now I will make a function another def g. So this is a g function. Now I will just write here. See it carefully. Right. I will just write print inside function g. Inside function g. So far, so good. I will take some argument for g here. Maybe let's say a. I took argument. Now what I am going to do? I am going to say return. See what I am going to do? Return. Now I am returning what? Let's say I am returning a itself. Right. So there are two functions, f print inside the function. Right. Return g print inside the function. Now this is going to be interesting. Now I am going to call a function. I am going to call a function. Let's say I will call f and let's see what happens. So if I call f, it creates inside function f. Very good, not a problem. Now what I am going to do, I am going to pass this f inside g. But before that also, I will just do some g. So I will just write a. So here inside function g. See inside function g. But now what I am going to do, right? Inside this g, I am going to pass the function f. I am going to pass the function f. Now when you pass this function f, this f will actually act as an argument here. Right. Now execute this. Let's say execute this first. So this is the main function. Right. So inside function g, but actually this is a function. Right. To execute this, you will just again call it something like this. Right. And now just use this, or let's say here use print, whatever you want to use. Just do this like this way, that way also, or this way also. So if you see g of f, now inside function g, so first it goes inside function g, right? Since f is the argument, it should be called. So here comes f, right? I will just write it here. So here comes f, and how a function is called? Inside this function, here let's say f is there, f, and a function is called using this parenthesis. So the moment it says parenthesis, it will also execute inside the function f. This is the ultimate level of understanding. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Did you guys understood this? How it is working? Right. Very easy. I can explain it again if you guys want. This is very easy to understand, right? Right. Santanu says return A again. Very simple. You have passed, you are calling a function g with a parameter f. F is what? Function. To call any function, you need a parenthesis. But here you have provided f, so f comes here, executes this inside function g. The moment here, in place of a, there is f. The moment it says parenthesis, it gets triggered, it gets executed, and that's how you see print inside f. Simple, simple, right? Simple. Now, last thing of the day, let's say this is fine. You know that this is the function and all fine, completely fine. This is the function. But in industry, whenever you write some function, right, always you need to provide the detail. That is also called as docstring. So now I will just write docstring. So let's say if you want to have a function, let's say def find power, find power. So let's say find power. Here it is number and here it is a power, number and power. So let's say you have written a code, return num into power, power. This is the way to create to get the power of the number. So let's say f underscore power. Very good, f underscore power. So let's say you pass 2 and let's say 2. 2 to the 4 you will get. Or let's say 2, 5. So you will get 2 to the power 5 is 32. Right. But actually whenever you write the code, you should always pass or always write a docstring to make the code more readable for the other developer. How can you do this? Using docstring. So you can just write the detail. This function returns returns the power of a number, right? First thing, then arguments. What are the arguments? So whatever is the number you have arguments, so you can just write here like this, num, that is integer. You can write the detail, insert any integer value of which you want the power. So let's say integer value. Then we have power int. So power int, insert any integer value. Insert any integer value. And then finally, you can just write returns. Returns, you can just write integer. And here you can just write power of a number. So this much detail you should always write. Now, if anyone is there, what he can do, help any other developer, you can just write f power, and it will give you all the details, whatever is required. You can also pass, get the details by using f power underscore doc underscore doc, right? That's it. So you can just get this way also, or just write print. So this is the best industry practice that you should follow. So this we have completed. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know. If you think anything we have left till now, let me know everything. We have covered almost everything in detail, in depth. I don't think you guys will get this any type of these things in anywhere in detail. What are the interview questions? So for these topics, interview questions, if you have to, if someone is asking, then right, in interview questions, why function is needed, right? Why function is needed? So this you can just talk about that, due to modularity, right? So you can talk about reusability, modularity, right, 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 modularity and readability. All of these regions you need function, right? What is difference between args and works, right? With this symbol, right? right? Right. Only one, right? This can be asked. Apart from this, very important that we discussed, that is something extra mile, right? Those questions can be asked in product-based company. How function execute? How function execute? This is the interview question. Do you guys have any other questions to ask? Please go ahead and ask. Anyone has any questions to ask? Quickly. Okay, so did you guys enjoy today's lecture, everyone? Did you guys understood? Very clear and in-depth. Very good. Thanks, Sada. Okay. Anyone else has any other questions? Okay. So do you guys don't have any questions? Then solution of first assignment and second assignment will be uploaded by tonight. I will also upload these lectures, right? These notes, right? So please go through the lecture notes, and also please try to actually uh, solve the second assignment as well, please guys. Now try to solve the second assignment. So thank you everyone. That would be all for today's lecture.